Mock of the Week used to be so good, man.
Yeah, although there was, I love that Ed Gamble's on there now. I think he's the new like really funny one. Yeah, like he's just
well,
him and James Acaster.
We saw Ed Gamble live, didn't we? Well,
Yeah.
I did. I don't know about you. At Download last year.
Yeah, and he was really good. Is that
the Jelly Babies because he's diabetic?
Yeah,
fucking Jelly Babies.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest ooh we got from a joke on Mock the Week was like unlikely lines to be heard in his children's cartoon, and he just goes up and goes, "To me."
Oh.
And everyone's like, "Oh."
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
Poor old Barry Shuckle.
I love.
Or was it Paul? No, it was Barry.
No, it was Barry. It was Barry.
Yeah, I remember them. They came to our uni at one point, didn't they?
Yeah.
To the venue. They did this kind of weird tour where they were going around all the student nightclubs and like signing autographs and stuff. It's very strange.
The other funny recent one I remember is I think it was one I saw yesterday, and it's related to like YouTube ads and things like that, and it was unlikely commercials, and Hugh Dennis goes up and says, "We spent £100,000 on making this ad, so please don't skip in 3, 2, 1, you fucking bastard." I love that one.
Yeah, no, I agree, Murray, man. Ed is a great laugh. We like I said, we saw him do his stand-up on the Thursday, I think, before Download started.
Yeah.
He was at Download, and he was telling us that he was looking forward to seeing Conjurer that weekend.
And that was where he just like earned so many brownie points, more brownie points than he earned before from actually being at Download.
Because it wasn't like he was going, I hate to use Jim Brewer as an example, but he was going for the obvious, AC/DC, Metallica.
He did the same fucking jokes
Slayer.
like 3 times in a row, and I was just like, I've heard this like so many times before, and it was like a 20-minute gig in 1 hour. That's what it felt like.
You didn't like Jim Brewer then?
No,
I thought he was all right.
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just that, like, at least have enough sustainable material for an hour rather than just repeat the same stuff 3 times. That's the bit I had an issue with. Like he was doing the same James Hetfield thing for like, I don't know, 15 minutes and then onto a Slayer one and stuff, and like, yeah, I just felt like there wasn't enough there in my mind.
But I just like the fact that he was going very niche with his metal bands. It's not like one of those metalhead comedians who goes on and goes, "Oh, that Metallica, eh? That's Slayer, eh?
Oh yeah, what's the deal with airline food, eh?"
Yeah. He's actually talking about bands like Conjurer, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. But
by the way, speaking of metalhead comedians, Bill Bailey, I've heard, is doing quite well on Strictly. I don't know if you've been keeping up.
I didn't even know he was on Strictly.
He was, yeah, and
Bloody hell.
He's actually one of the favourites to win it.
Oh, you'd be my favourite to win it. Even if he can't dance, I'd still vote for him.
I love Bill Bailey. I wish I could have seen his Sonosphere set in 2011.
I love it when he was on Buzzcocks, and it was when Preston walked off and he says, he must have thought he'd been voted out. That's probably my favourite episode. Or the one where, I can't remember that, that punk guy with the long blonde hair comes on, and Simon Amstel...
Tim Minchin? Is that
not
him?
Tim Minchin, no. I can't remember. Let me just check real quick just to get a reminder of his name.
Yeah, but Bill Bailey, I saw him in London's in the
Donny
West
Tourette,
End.
that's the one. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, the Donny Tourette's episode.
And he was just like, he was trying to mug off Simon, and then he was trying to mug off Bill Bailey, and then Simon goes in, "I don't think you realise this, but Bill is a comedian. You can't win."
Can't win. And I do seem to recall Bill saying something along the lines of, "You're about as punk as Enya."
Yeah.
I've heard since that Donny Tourette's kind of cooled down a bit from those days. He's kind of become a bit more grounded since then.
He probably,
But,
he probably had.
He didn't come across very well in that episode.
No,
of
definitely
Buzzcocks.
not. But like,
but yeah, Bill Bailey. I saw him in the West End live stand up. My stomach was cramping from laughing so hard.
Mm.
Seriously, I was in actual physical pain watching him.
I love
from laughter.
Yeah, the kind of comedy I like is the less sort of dry and the more kind of practical, but something clever at the same time. Like I like with like Lee Mack's stand up. There's something extra to it, which I love.
See, I'm a bit kind of. I have a weird polarity when it comes to comedy. I love my dry, like I really love dry humor, like along the lines of like Jack D, Milton Jones, all that lot on one camp. But then equally, I love the absolutely absurd and ridiculous stuff. Your Harry Hills or whatever, who actually turned up at my graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
And he got an honorary doctorate, Harry Hill. It was bizarre. Going up to collect my degree and Harry Hill sitting there applauding me. I'm like, I am truly in bizarro world here.
Does he really deserve that? Only one way to find out. Yeah.
Fight!
He's just like
It's very silly, but I love TV Bert back in the day.
Yeah, and then I think it got overwritten by Russell Howard's show then, because I think that is because it was more commentary based. So I think it became more viral on the internet and stuff as well. So I think what
he was like a lot of his stuff was quite risque, on TV, but believe it or not.
Yeah. I think it
was like I remember there was like at one point he was doing a show, one of Heston Blumenthal's show, where Heston visits an Italian butcher's, and he makes a trumpet out of bits of pork and stuff, and cuts back to Harry Hill, and he goes, "Yeah, I've never played the pork trumpet myself."
Yeah. I don't know.
It's brilliant.
I'm just trying to think who's like the wackiest like Buzzcocks moment, because everyone's talking about the Donny Tourette thing as well. And,
it says, Greg, speaking of which, Greg says, had a look on Wiki, he must have stopped being a knob because Towers of London have the original lineup back. Yeah, that's what I thought. Apparently, I think they've toured with the Wild Hearts recently.
Wow.
I wish Goth Botherer was in here to confirm that, but I believe they toured with the Wild Hearts quite recent, like last year before.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got their act together somewhat.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I remember the Huey Morgan incident, and that was from like his second or third time being on the show. To be honest, I could probably get a bit irate by the Rizzle Kicks sitting there hosting, but no excuse to smash a tea mug. Did you ever see?
Oh man, they used to have Dave Mustaine on there. They had like Bruce Dickinson was on there. Lemmy was on there.
Oh, yeah. Ian Watkins was on there.
Oh, was he? Oh.
Yeah, and
I hope you're talking about the Ian Watkins from Steps, by the way.
He was on there. He was on there too. That was when I think that was the one where Frankie Boyle was hosting.
Yeah,
because I think Amy Childs was on there. And she was talking about vajazzling or something like that, and I think Tiny Temper was sitting next to her, and he said, "Have you ever done vajazzling yourself?" And she was like, "No, I never tried." And he's like, "There's always a first."
Oh,
Danny Filth as well. That's another one. Yeah, Danny Filth.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
he was so awkward when doing the music coming round because he just didn't know many of the songs.
That was
very well.
That and the lineup bit was always my favourite.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you remember? Where was it? Dappy on there, and he was like, "Oh, does he go? So you said that the real one's quite energetic." And he's like, "Yeah," and he said, "Oh, it can't be number 4 then." And then Phil Duper just walks off.
Oh god. So who would you say is your favourite permanent Buzzcocks host out of Mark Lamar and Simon Amstel?
I think Simon, without a doubt. I think there was just some charm to Simon Amstel and his sarcasm and stuff that is very, very hard to replace.
Yeah, I mean, both of them, were brilliantly irreverent in their own way. I feel like Simon Amstel was more our era of growing up with Buzzcocks, and Mark Lamar was a bit earlier. But you could argue Mark Lamar kind of set the precedent.
Oh yeah, of course, and
that style of presenting. Yeah.
I don't think Buzzcocks would have been what it is without Mark Lamar setting the stage, as you said, and Simon Amstell could. But Simon Amstell was a great choice for who would replace him after that. So kudos to them. And I think Rod Gilbert's done a fairly good job when he was permanent.
Was he permanent host?
He became permanent. Yeah, I don't know if he's still permanent.
I do like Rod Gilbert. He's nuts. He's him on Taskmaster, which I've caught up with incidentally. By the way,
I still need to watch that because I just haven't watched it.
I watched it last night, and there was a task where basically you had to the contestants had to look in a mirror and draw the animal that was on the other side of the mirror, and they were wearing a hat.
Yeah,
and it's such a wonderfully bizarre show.
What I loved about Amstell on Buzzcocks though was he could, like, as Mike Doc said, he could be more cutting at times, but that cheeky grin after he says a joke, it just kills me every time. When he's like, it was Courtney Love and was like, "Or kill me and make it look like suicide."
Oh God, that joke! Oh no!
But then he seemed.
I love the immediate disclaimer.
Disclaimer: Simon Amstell is definitely wrong.
Simon Amstell is definitely wrong.
That's BBC covering their asses there.
Oh my word!
Yeah,
I
need to watch A League of Their Own as well. Is it League of Their Own, the one where it's
Yeah, it's James Corden hosting and
is it
Jamie?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, there you go. That'll put you off instantly. Jamie Redknapp and Freddie Flintoff as team captains. It used to be good, and then they kind of it stopped being about sport and started, just random banter between all of them.
I think like someone like Rob Beckett would be a perfect host for a show like that.
Oh, he's brilliant. Arsenal fan as well, so he gets bonus points.
I'll give him a pass.
And Romesh Ranganathan as well.
Yeah. I didn't like how he called Android users pricks though. One of his stand-up routines. Whatevs.
Yeah. Panel shows. I do like a good panel show. Yeah.
I loved. I love 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, where I just love Joe Wilkinson in it.
Joe Wilkinson is ridiculous. Him on Taskmaster, right? My sister actually saw him outside of her work on a lunch break at one point. And she sent the photo to me. It's like, guess who I saw? But on Taskmaster, where they had the task was they had to impress a local mayor.
All right.
And Joe Wilkinson comes in and he goes, "Here you go, brought you 42 Calippos."
See, that's what I mean. I like it when he's just like...
I brought you a few cans of lager. And the mayor goes, "Well, any significance for the 42 Calippos?" That's all they had.
I like it when he's doing magic tricks and then he like has the smoke effect in the back and he just goes, "I can't smoke in you, mate."
When on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, where he brings in the bear.
Yeah,
with the bear with the can of lager in his hand. It's like,
yeah,
it's a pissed up bear, mate.
when he is like just all the insults of Fabio. He's like, "Oh, Fabio is a great assistant, but he's thick as pig shit."
Oh, that's a shame to hear, Greg. Apparently, Rob Beckett's a knobhead in real life.
I have heard that.
Came to his theatre 2 hours late and shouted the odds. I actually worked at a theatre myself, and we had Jim Davidson as one of our comedians that was performing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can imagine how he was to deal with.
The only one we had
Romesh Ranganathan at this theatre performing. We had Alan Davis. We had Omid Jalili. All fantastic.
Yeah,
but yeah. Jim Davison. That was a difficult evening.
I think the only people, and this is not me like passing judgment myself, but it's just what I've heard. I haven't heard good things about Bradley Walsh. Haven't heard good things about Matt Tuck. Mainly from Well, have you never met Matt Tuck? I feel like you would have met him. I've met Moose and Padge, but I've never met Matt.
Moose was on Mosh Talks the other night promoting Kill the Lights. Was it his band?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he seemed like a top geezer. He seemed seemed like very radiant and very smiley.
This is my problem, see, because like the whole, like not with Moose, but with that whole thing about what's it called? Not responding to Moose's emails about coming back into the band, and that whole palaver, and then them saying that, oh, we're gonna do this new song with the separate drummer, but we want you to be in the video and stuff, and then afterwards just saying we want you to step down, even after saying oh yeah, it's his decision to come back to the band, like basically covering it up or something. But from a childhood friend, that just seems like a really scummy thing to do, in my opinion. And that did put off my opinion about well, not necessarily the band, but
about him as a person. Well, yeah,
and he hasn't really my problem is he hasn't really spoken up about it ever since that, and he could easily do that, like even publicly apologize or anything like that, but he just hasn't.
This is the only time I'm gonna bring it up, right? And this is really I don't like to talk about this sort of stuff, as you know, but when I found out this week, I mean, it is relevant news, so I just want to get it off my chest.
Go ahead, man.
That Steph from Deftones is a flat earther, and he believes in well, he's got a few anti-vax kind of beliefs.
Oh, jeez.
I was slightly gutted about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Is this?
But at the end of the day, I still love the band. It's his views. It's not really harming anyone, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like his side project is Trapped. So
exactly. He's like the chillest guy in the world, Steph. From all the interviews and stuff. Probably because of the amount of weed he smokes, to be fair. But it doesn't surprise me that he has kind of an outlandish view like that. I think it was only a matter of time before someone from Deftones came out with some ridiculous beliefs like that. But still love the band.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. But no, I'm with you. Like, when you find out band members of bands you love can be a bit, weird.
Yeah. Hello, Penny. How's it going? By the way, sorry. Just.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, AJ Styles. Yeah, no, he's one of the best wrestlers on planet Earth. AJ Styles. He's one of my favorites, and he's a flat earther.
Yeah. I mean.
And Daniel Bryan made a joke about it on. On Smack Talks, if you remember.
Yeah.
When that was a thing.
That's yeah. So there's all that, all the celebrities in real life and blah blah blah. But
separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess what I'm getting at.
All right.